Hi, welcome back. With us right now is a rabbi with a good idea. This is Rabbi Teitelbaum, who is the co-coordinator of Dialadath, which is a telephone service that allows people who are too busy to attend lectures at schools or synagogues to study the Talmud. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Sir, Rabbi, tell me a little bit about, before we listen in on the service, where the idea came from.
Well, there are many, many people who study the Talmud every single day, and quite a few pages to finish it all off. Not everybody can learn it on his own. Not everybody could attend a daily lecture. And the best way to get that Talmud to the people who can't come to a daily lecture, I guess, is on the phone. The phone you can call from anywhere.
So how do you organize that, Rabbi?
Very simple. People hear about us. People call us up. They want to get in on it, and they become subscribers.
Well, no, I guess what I meant originally was, how did you originally organize it? Because you have some of the world's greatest rabbis on the phone for you.
How we organized it? Well, it was very difficult. First of all, we went to many, many lecturers, to rabbis, to educators, and we asked them to give us a copy of their lecture, their particular way that they explain it. After we listened to 50 or 100 of them, we picked the best. We selected just the best ones.
How many actually was there?
Actually, you figure about 10, 15 people on a rotating basis keep on doing it for us. Mm-hmm. And these people are fantastic. They have a power of explaining something very difficult. If you ever study the Talmud, you know that the Talmud is very difficult.
Well, that's the thing that is a great teacher, particularly on the phone, where you don't see all of the powers of persuasion and communication that we would see, in a live classroom or a lecture situation.
The Talmud is a very difficult thing, and you need the best teachers and the finest teachers to explain it. And that's what we have, and the people just love it.
All right. Before we tell people a little bit about, if they're interested, how to avail themselves of this, let's listen in. I don't know where we are in the Talmud, and even if I hear it, I probably won't know where we are.
It shouldn't make any difference if we are dealing with different rooftops of different heights. Amar lahu Abaye, and on that Abaye answered, Lo shmiya lechu, didn't you hear, Hadi Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi, that which Rav Yitzchak bar Avdimi said, that Omer Haya Rav Meir, he said that Rav Meir used to say, that Kol Makam Mishata Maitzi Shtei Rishuyas, that any time where we find there are two different Rishuyas, Behin Rishus Akas, and halachically they are considered one Rishus. Kegoin Amud Rishus Hayachid, for example, let us assume that there is a pillar which is standing in the middle of a Rishus Hayachid, let's say in the middle of a courtyard. Kavayasar, which is
Hi, my name is Yehuda, and I would like to tell you a little about my Zaidy, Rabbi Teitelbaum. I miss him very much, and I'm sure that showing you all the great things he did will make me feel much better.
My Zaidy lived with us.
My Zaidy was born in London, England in 1940 to Rav Avram Yaakov and Freda Teitelbaum. That was right in the middle of World War II. He and his family spent lots of nights in subway stations to protect them from the German bombs. When it got too dangerous to stay in London, the whole family was sent to a tiny village called Bletchley, where they stayed for the rest of the war. At the end of 1948, my Zaidy's parents decided to come to America, where they stayed for about a half a year in a hotel in Manhattan. At the time, the family consisted of 7 children, of which Zaidy was the second oldest. After the summer of 1949, the family moved to Kew Gardens in Queens, where my Zaidy's father opened a shul in the house that they lived in. Zaidy attended Yeshiva Torah in Williamsburg for the first 2 years, and then attended the Lubavitcher Yeshiva in Brooklyn. Zaidy spent many summers in Camp Agada. He became a lifeguard, and then head lifeguard. Later on, he was head counselor in Camp Gan Yisrael and Camp Torah. In 1969, Zaidy founded his own camp, Camp Sdei Chamed in Eretz Yisrael, which has been in existence now for about 40 years. And I get to go every summer, and I love going. My Zaidy was a very talented musician. These are just some of the many instruments he would play. At a very young age, my Zaidy produced the very first Jewish choir called Pirchei. The Pirchei records were a huge success. Zaidy used the money to create the first Siyam HaMishnayos. Here is a video from last year's Siyam in which my Zaidy is saying the Tehillim. My Zaidy was also a black belt in karate, but he used his strength to protect Yidden from the Goyim. All these things my Zaidy accomplished before he was even married. In 1972, my Zaidy married my Babi, Ad Mea V'Esrim, where they lived a beautiful 35 years together.
But Zaidy made us laugh, Zaidy made us sing, and Zaidy made a kiddish Friday night. And Zaidy, oh my Zaidy, how I love him so. And Zaidy used to teach me wrong from right.
Many kids think he was the greatest Rabbi and teacher in the world. I certainly agree. In fact, I got to have Zaidy many times as my substitute. His classroom was always very alive. Let me show you some videos of my Zaidy's classroom, and you will see what I mean.
And B'Tzalel made 3 boxes. The outside one was the golden box. Then he made another box. You bake it, right, Batista. Crumble it. The vino you add. So I'm going to figure out how much flour to put in, how much is in the sorry. I have an easy way of measuring it. If you look over here, we're going to fill this jar with water. And fill it all the way exactly to the top, with very carefully, okay? As we drop them in, the water is going to go out. And then I'm going to collect the water. I don't know if I'm going to get all the eggs in here. Possibly yes, possibly not. Okay? We'll put the eggs in. And how many eggs? The way she does it. And she mixes the flour with the... We have our pizza right here. We have the kaimitz over here. Okay. Now, can you show me how you go do patisa? Let's see if you know how to do patisa. Right. According to the Raman, that's enough. Right, you make an egg salad. Make a mashiach on this one before it was crumbled, of course. Go ahead. Well, good, but now take your hand and flatten it nicely like you would do a pancake or something. Not only must the esrog be hot or beautiful, but all the arba minim, every one of the minim should be beautiful as well. Well, what's beautiful? What's called beautiful? Most of the branches on the date tree, you'll find the leaves are all the way open. And here again, most achronim say that it's okay. The word avos means, anybody knows what the word avos means? Yes? The ones on top that are in the sun are red. So as long as the tree has the pipe that would get red if it wouldn't be on the sun, it doesn't matter if it's green, it's still okay. Maybe I should open one up later and show you some of the interesting things of these esrog. This is a beautiful esrog. I'm the esrog, the most beautiful of the 4 minim. I'm shaped like a heart and represent the tzaddik. Come along and join me as I'll take you to the Pardes, the plantation in Israel, where I'm grown. A lot of people, no shayfa, you'll see their head, their face, their cheeks turn all red, and one gets puffed up. Usually, sometimes both get puffed up like balloons like this. And they get all red, and things don't move. Well, it's not really necessary. You don't have to work hard. You can relax, and you can take the shayfa and relax like this. If you blow it correctly, you don't have to puff, you don't have to huff. You just go like this. They stop. made a long sound. That's the way it was in the base of His
brother's name is Ari.
I know your brother?
The beginning, the tefillin should be at the beginning where the sound starts. Not where the sound starts over here.
Things you're going to tie together? Okay, could you take them and then show me what you're going to do? What are you taking?
This.
Right. Good. Now? What do you got there? Okay, how are you going to tie it together? You got to practice. You're going to be a Kohen in Yetz Hashem. You're a Kohen in Yetz Hashem when the Beis HaMikdash is going to see if you know how to tie it.
Right now, I am standing outside his house at 1618 43rd Street in Borough Park. My Zaidy never cared to have a fancy house. Fancy things never meant anything to him. So come inside and let me show you around. Let's start with his office in which I am in right now. This was always the first place I went when I went to visit Rabbi and Zaidy. I could always expect a warm hello and how are you and some candy from his jar. This computer is where my Zaidy would write his many articles and divrei Torah. Some of the projects my Zaidy was working on recently include a book about kosher and non-kosher animals, a book about Shabbos, a book to teach children the Aleph Beis, and a book on Eretz Yisrael. Look up there to see the many books that my Zaidy used to research his many projects. In the later years, my Zaidy used to lay on this couch while many people came to ask him their questions and share with him their problems. My Zaidy always had good advice and showed them what to do. My Zaidy was very busy making many Jewish music tapes. He also made a tape to teach everybody the Shabbos Miris. A lot of famous tapes were recorded in this studio, like 613 Torah Avenue, Shmokanda Story Tapes, and even Mordechai Ben David and Avram Fried sang in this studio. Now let me take you down to the basement. You wouldn't believe it, but this is the Center of Torah Communications, also known as Dialadath. My Zaidy always thought of ways to use technology for Torah. I'm too young to show you how old these computers work, but I do know that hundreds of people call into these computers to listen to Torah every single day. By now you should know as much about my Zaidy as I do, so I'll say goodbye. Thank you for learning Mishnayos in my Zaidy's memory.